tornado touches down in an Ottawa suburb, damaging more than 100 homes. Tonight, residents assess what's been lost, grateful that injuries were minimal.
At first, I told my husband, I was like, I think we're gonna die or something.
Plus, just hours later, a ferocious storm batters Montreal. Historic strike. Actors join writers on the picket line.
The challenge is going to be, when is the next episode? When is the next season going to start?
The WHO says the artificial sweetener, aspartame, may cause cancer.
I have a feeling there's going to be a lot of research because we really need an answer to this question.
This is The National with Ian Hannamansing.
In Ottawa tonight, hundreds of people are still reeling from a tornado that brought sudden shock and lasting damage. Here's a look as it hit. No serious injuries are reported, but not hard to imagine how terrifying it must have been when it hit Barrhaven in the southwestern part of Ottawa. Nicole Williams is there to show us how the community was suddenly thrown into chaos.
You can see the...
Anne Ingo says she was working from her home office when the tornado hit. A moment of horror as it touched down and ripped its way through this southwest Ottawa neighborhood. This security cam footage shows the moment it happened. A burst of rain followed by a powerful funnel picking up debris and powerfully whipping it around. Environment Canada issued a warning just moments before it hit.
It's so terrible. I stay beside of the windows, and the sound is so terrible. It's broken the windows, and wow, the sound is so terrible. I had to run to the second floor. You see the damage like that? I had to run down.
When it was over, shocked neighbors emerged from their homes to assess the damage.
Everything is just like destroyed. It's completely destroyed. Like, I just want to hug my boys and see them like they are safe around me, and that's all, but it's so scary.
Oh, it is starting.
The tornado was short-lived. People here saying it lasted just 30 seconds, long enough to leave its mark.
I felt like my whole house is shaking. First, I told my husband, I was like, I think we're gonna die or something.
This woman and her family moved into their brand new home just a few years ago. Now it's one of the worst damaged.
You can see our garage door is broken too. Glass is all over on the floor. It came from all the way over there. And our bikes are gone. We had like a basketball net here. It's gone too. Our garbage bins, everything is gone. Like, it's just shocking.
Everywhere you turn, another devastating picture of the neighborhood. And at one point, nearly 2,000 people left without power.
There are 3 or 4 areas of Barrhaven that were affected. There are something like 50 to 100 homes that have sustained damage. There are a lot of trees down. I've driven through a couple of the different neighborhoods and seen some of the damage, and it's quite significant.
And Nicole, what's the latest on the tornado's impact?
Well, Ian, officials have confirmed that at least 125 homes were damaged. We did see firefighters and police spending much of the day knocking on doors, checking in on people to make sure they were okay. We know at the very least the people living on the street behind us can't stay here tonight because their homes are too damaged. They're not structurally sound enough for people to remain. So those people will have access to a community shelter. At the same time, we know that people moving forward are just going to be taking time to process this very traumatic event.
Nicole Williams in the Ottawa suburb of Barrhaven tonight. As that nasty storm system moved east, another tornado struck near Montreal. But as Sarah Levitt shows us, the heavy rains that came with it disrupted the lives of many more people.
It came rolling in from the west. First, the winds. Then menacing clouds blanketing the cityscape, and at last, a torrential downpour. Cell phones screamed with official tornado watch warnings from Environment Canada. Take cover immediately if threatening weather approaches. It did. The deluge caused almost immediate flooding, with cars rolling slowly through this highway, only to be stopped by the rising waters.
This is wild, y'all.
On another highway, some weren't as lucky. Across the city, underpasses rapidly filled, an army of tow trucks deployed to help. A local bar partly flooded, its patrons unperturbed. North of Montreal in Mirabel, Environment Canada confirms a tornado did touch down. The town reported no injuries and no damage. In all, 50 to 100 millimeters fell in just over an hour. But as fast as the storm rolled into the area, just like that, it was over, with the sun shining as if nothing had happened. Now, though, the cleanup begins. Sarah Levitt, CBC News, Montreal.
And extreme weather is sweeping across large parts of the world tonight. Millions in Europe baking under brutal temperatures, and heat, storms, and flooding are paralyzing areas of the United States. Paul Hunter shows us why the warning in many places is brace for more.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God.
In Chicago, the twisters hit hard.
All I saw was the tornado come straight down here, and debris started flying all over the place.
And they hit quickly.
We are under a tornado warning.
On this newscast, a direct warning to colleagues.
Time to get out of the newsroom, just get into interior room. But we got to get away from windows now. Newsroom, control room, you should be in good shape.
Meanwhile, in Vermont, with the cleanup barely underway after that ferocious storm a few days ago, this grim forecast from the governor.
This isn't over. On Sunday, unfortunately, there's another chance for heavy rain statewide.
Not to mention the blistering U.S. Southwest. Already in the low to mid 40s, temperatures are now set to climb even higher this weekend.
We have deaths inside of homes within the city of Phoenix, and to us, that's just unacceptable.
Overseas, it's equally sobering, with wildfires in Portugal, Spain, France, and this is Croatia. In Greece, there are mobile health units for those overcome by the heat.
They were nauseous, they are dizzy, they don't feel well, they want somewhere to sit, and they have to immediately to take them out of sun, immediately.
It sounds really bad, and it is really bad. Here's the
climate science professor Michael Mann says, make no mistake, it's a direct consequence of climate change stemming from greenhouse gases.
We really are at a critical juncture right now. We're not going to cool down global temperatures anytime soon. Maybe decades from now we'll have the technology to do that. What we can do is prevent it from getting worse.
If not, go the warnings. This is what it will be, simply put, from now on. Paul Hunter, CBC News, Washington.
To other news now, and a new and expensive headache for film and TV producers. The U.S. Screen Actors Guild has gone on strike, with the Writers Guild already off the job. This is a double whammy not seen in decades. Deanna Sumanag-Johnson tells us what the impact could be on the shows you watch.
They're walking off the set and onto the picket line. 160,000 members of the Screen Actors Guild are now on strike.
If we don't stand tall right now, we are all going to be in trouble. We are all going to be in jeopardy.
The strike, backed by stars like Matt Damon, Meryl Streep, and Jessica Chastain, is meant to settle what actors call threats to their livelihoods in the digital age, like compensation for actors when their work plays on streaming platforms, and limits on how studios can use AI to reproduce and manipulate actors' faces or voices. For the first time in over 60 years, actors are on strike at the same time as writers, which could leave the entertainment industry reeling.
Welcome back, everybody.
Late-night talk shows have been on repeats for weeks after their writers walked off the jobs in early May.
It's going to get better.
You're not going to be up much higher.
Now, actors walking off sets could halt many more productions, including those that employ thousands of Canadians, from camera people to makeup artists and truck drivers.
This is a very large storm that has happened, and it heavily impacts the employment of our members. And in fact, it's a global slowdown. The impacts of now that the actors are on strike, this will affect the global production community.
And for the viewer at home, it could mean waiting a long time before the new season of your favorite show is available. A show like House of the Dragon was lucky enough to have had scripts completed before the writers' strike began. Another stroke of luck? Union rules in the UK mean it can stay in production.
Unleash hell.
But no such luck for long-anticipated movies like Ridley Scott's sequel to Gladiator.
Tonight, they're unlikely to see changes because all the productions that are on Gem and on Netflix and on Crave and elsewhere, they're completed. The challenge is going to be, when is the next episode? When is the next season going to start? It's going to be 18 months before the next season of The Last of Us comes out.
Deanna, the strike had an impact even before it began.
Absolutely, Ian. The London premiere of Chris Nolan's hotly anticipated Oppenheimer had to be moved up by an hour so that the actors on the red carpet would not be breaking the strike rules by basically working. And even so, they still had to leave early. And if you think about this, what does this mean for festivals like the Toronto International Film Festival, which is just less than 2 months away? If this strike is still going on, it could mean TIFF without any major stars on the red carpet.
Deanna Sumanak-Johnson in our Toronto studio. Thank you. Tonight, port workers in BC are back on the job. Their union and employer agreeing to terms put forward by a federal government mediator. Now, as Renee Filipponi shows us, the focus is on getting goods moving again.
Not long after the Ottawa imposed deadline, picket lines started to come down. The tentative agreement reached after nearly 2 weeks of job action. In a statement, the BC Maritime Employers Association says the 4-year deal recognizes the skills and efforts of BC's waterfront workforce. According to a manufacturers industry group, the strike is estimated to have cost at least $500 million a day in disrupted trade. Business leaders are relieved it appears to be over.
It fuels prices, it fuels inflation for both Canadians and businesses, and it also brings our reputation as a trading nation into question.
In a statement, the Labour Minister thanked the union and the employer, saying the scale of the disruption has been significant. The parties were given a proposal from a federal mediator yesterday and had 24 hours to make a decision.
The beauty of this mechanism is that once there's something reasonable on the table, if one party refuses and one party accepts, the party that refuses is going to really feel the heat.
The details have not been released. The union was asking for wage increases and protection against contracting out and automation. The agreement still needs to be ratified by both sides, but workers were back on the job this afternoon. It will take weeks to clear the backlog of containers. This trucking company owner says he has been patient as the two sides work things out, but it's time to get back to reality.
We're already panicking. We got a call from the ports that the reservations are opened up, and tomorrow the floodgates are going to be open, and this is going to be packed. Every truck's gone on the road.
Business leaders are now asking the government to take steps to ensure that future waterfront disputes don't further affect the supply chain. Renee Filipponi, CBC News, Vancouver.
Police have made an arrest in the shocking daytime shooting death of a Toronto mother of 2. Carolina Hubner-Macurat was hit by a stray bullet last week while walking when an altercation between 3 men erupted in gunfire. Damien Hudson, a 32-year-old man, has been arrested and charged with second-degree murder. Court documents show he was out on bail at the time of the shooting and under court orders not to possess firearms. Police say they're still trying to identify the other suspects. Tonight, the World Health Organization has listed aspartame as a possible carcinogen. News of that declaration leaked 2 weeks ago, prompting questions about the real risk of the popular sugar substitute. Paige Parsons now has the details of the report and the questions that remain.
100% sugar-free, gluten-free as well.
This Edmonton baker is an expert at making things sweet without sugar. Her shop carries all kinds of sugar-free products, but one ingredient you won't find here, aspartame.
I've heard nothing but bad things about aspartame.
Today, the World Health Organization's cancer research arm declared that aspartame is possibly carcinogenic to humans, but it comes with some caveats.
We have, in a sense, raised a flag here, indicating that we need to clarify much more the situation. It's not, something which we can dismiss at this moment.
Found in products like diet soda and chewing gum, aspartame is one of the world's most commonly used artificial sweeteners. The WHO's declaration follows a wide review of published evidence. Potentially carcinogenic puts aspartame in the same category as using cell phones, meaning there's limited evidence linking it to cancer. On a scale of various carcinogens, aspartame is less of a potential risk than red meat.
We're not advising companies to withdraw products, nor we are advising consumers to stop consuming altogether. We're just advising for a bit of moderation.
You'll find aspartame.
The recommended safe daily limit for aspartame is staying the same. Hitting that daily max would mean drinking between 9 and 14 cans of diet soda.
The natural human behavior is that if something is a little bit dangerous, it's very dangerous, and potentially the sky is falling down. But certainly in this case, it is not.
Still, the WHO's declaration is a signal to researchers.
We need more research, and I have a feeling there's going to be a lot of research coming down the pipeline now, because we really need an answer to this question.
Health Canada regulates aspartame as a food additive. It says it will review the WHO's findings to determine if any action is needed. Paige Parsons, CBC News, Edmonton.
So when a potential carcinogen is hard to avoid, what does that mean for healthy choices at the store? We'll have more on that later in the show. Americans will soon be able to get a birth control pill without a prescription.
This is a huge win for public health nationwide.
Opill is expected to be available over the counter early next year. Its approval comes a year after the U.S. Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade, the ruling that had guaranteed abortion rights. About half of all U.S. pregnancies are unintended. In Canada, most oral contraceptive drugs require a prescription. New data reveals the air in Hamilton, Ontario is rife with unhealthy levels of a cancer-causing pollutant. The city is known for its steel production. As Katie Nicholson shows us, the findings have some calling for tighter industry regulations.
Rob Yarmo cycles 100 kilometers every week, all the while breathing in great lungfuls of Hamilton air.
I moved into the area about 4 years ago, and I noticed that both my wife and myself, our breathing is not as free and clear.
Air quality issues are nothing new in the Steel City, but a new study found unhealthy levels of one carcinogen in particular, benzoapyrene, common in steel plant emissions.
So just up where that yellow thing is?
Yeah, just right.
These flying saucer-shaped air monitors were set up across the city to measure pollution. The carcinogen was expected to show up in industrial areas, not the entire city.
It just really surprised me at the extent. It's really affecting every urban dweller in Hamilton.
The big concern, how those elevated levels add up over time.
The amount of benzoapyrene that someone living in the worst areas is breathing in would be about the equivalent of smoking a cigarette a day.
It's bringing renewed scrutiny on the practice of granting companies like steel giant ArcelorMittal Dofasco emissions exemptions from Ontario's air quality rules.
The province needs to ensure that the air regulatory framework is effective,
including, she says, regular inspections for compliance. The Premier says the province is already trying to help the industry move away from benzoapyrene-emitting coal furnaces.
We're putting hundreds of millions of dollars to get electric arc furnaces, not only here in Hamilton, but up in Algoma. That's like taking 2 million cars off the road.
But for some who live here, it's still unsettling knowing what is lingering in the air.
I am concerned about it long term. There's a thought that we're going through right now that we might move in a year or two.
And perhaps breathe a little easier elsewhere. Katie Nicholson, CBC News, Hamilton.
Air quality warnings are in place for parts of central and northern BC tonight. Here's a look at Highway 16 near Prince George this morning. Right now, the risk from wildfire smoke is considered very high. Here's a look at the air quality in the area. Stagnant weather pattern is supposed to continue through the weekend. That'll keep the smoke around. More than 2/3 of the province's approximately 350 wildfires are burning in that part of the province. 40 fires started in the last 24 hours alone. There's a new kind of gold rush underway, but this time for critical minerals like lithium and helium. And Saskatchewan First Nations leaders say with billions of dollars at stake, they won't be pushed to the side as those resources are developed. As Jason Warwick explains, they say that's happened before.
With these oil and gas wells, they're so close in proximity to our First Nations boundary that there should be some consultation.
Chief Ira MacArthur says he was shocked by a recent discovery. Those wells weren't just removing the oil directly below them. Operators were boring sideways under his First Nations land and draining its pool of oil.
We know for a fact that these wells all are horizontally drilled.
MacArthur and others are using new resource maps created by a First Nations research group. But the maps show more than just oil and gas. They also show claims and leases covering hundreds of square kilometers given by the province to private companies. They're looking to cash in on a modern-day mineral rush for lithium, helium, and other critical minerals needed in cell phones and electric cars.
Let's make no mistake, the billions and billions are here in the critical mineral mining industry.
The group's CEO says First Nations are being shut out once again, and they aren't going to sit back.
So we need to really work towards creating some parity, within our homelands here.
At Pheasant Rump, Chief MacArthur says they're prepared to fight this battle in the courts and elsewhere.
I mean, the history has shown that, the provincial government doesn't consider us equal citizens here in Saskatchewan.
Some say international law, various Canadian court rulings, and the provincial government's own policy require consultation. The province insists it controls all natural resources, but says it will respect all treaty obligations. But this conversation extends beyond Saskatchewan. One First Nations chief has been invited to Washington, D.C. for meetings Friday with corporate leaders and White House officials. His message for them? If you want to get your hands on critical minerals, you need to partner with First Nations. Jason Warwick, CBC News, Saskatoon.
Magic mushrooms are illegal in Canada, but stores selling them keep popping up.
If the police wasn't going to let us operate, then we wouldn't be here today.
Why advocates say they should be allowed to stay. The Ukrainian tennis player who made waves at Wimbledon.
I just hope that, Ukrainian people continue supporting me.
And an Irish tourist takes on a bear and faints.
I got a whack of the bear spray in my face.
We're back in 2. Kevin Spacey says he was crushed by the sexual assault allegations against him. The actor is on trial in London, and today he addressed the jury directly for the first time. He described himself as a big flirt, but denied the accusations of 4 men who say he sexually assaulted them. The Oscar winner has pleaded not guilty to a dozen charges. We now know what killed Lisa Marie Presley. Her death was caused by complications from a bowel obstruction, according to the Los Angeles County Medical Examiner. The only child of Elvis Presley died earlier this year following a medical emergency that required hospitalization. She was 54. Across Canada, dispensaries selling magic mushrooms are popping up. They are illegal, but advocates argue they shouldn't be because they can treat a range of ailments. As researchers get to work, Travis Danraz shows us how police are reacting.
Tuesday was opening day for the first Fun Guys dispensary in Quebec. Montreal police were ready. The dispensary raided, 4 arrested.
The investigation is going to be ongoing, and the accusation might follow.
While that Quebec raid went down, in Ontario, 11 locations remained open.
If the police wasn't going to let us operate, then we wouldn't be here today, right? They would completely shut it down.
Toronto police have seized product in the past, but never forced stores to close permanently. A police spokesperson telling CBC News cracking down on other street drugs that could kill is a bigger priority.
It's really not a drug. It's really medicine for the mind, body, heart, and soul. Like, this can help people.
The production, sale, and possession of hallucinogenic drugs are illegal in Canada. There are few medical exemptions, but those require special permission from Health Canada.
It is actions like these stores, which is really a form of civil disobedience, that move the ball forward.
This lawyer has advocated for the decriminalization of psychedelics and expects the battle to hit the courts in the coming years.
There are real constitutional issues around medical access. It's really just a matter of time until we have more reasonable laws.
This neuroscience researcher is conducting a medical trial of the use of small doses of psilocybin, the hallucinogen in magic mushrooms.
Microdosing could be helpful with depression, anxiety, PTSD, eating disorders, OCD. The list goes on.
He says psilocybin's growing popularity requires a focused strategy.
The way to do it is through harm reduction. So yes, training for individuals who want to sell these substances, and also training and education for people who want to purchase these substances.
As sporadic raids continue across the country, there's a push for more research funding. Psychedelics, say some scientists, could one day become a proven and potent medication with the potential of helping millions. Travis Danraj, CBC News, Toronto.
This year alone, more than 1 million Canadian mortgages are up for renewal. And after the latest interest rate hike, many mortgage holders will end up paying more. Sophia Harris walks us through some options on how to lessen the pain.
For Sajjad Sid, it's all about strategy. His mortgage is up for renewal in August, so when his bank offered him a new rate, he started searching for counter offers.
Definitely have to shop around, like at least go to 2 banks.
Sid got several offers and wound up renewing his mortgage with a different bank, getting a fixed rate close to 1% lower than his bank's best offer.
4.93% for 3 years. It's the best I can get right now because the rates have been going up.
The Bank of Canada has hiked its benchmark interest rate 10 times since March 2022. About 4 million mortgages will be up for renewal in the next 3 years, and homeowners renewing could see their monthly payments spike by hundreds of dollars.
We take calls from some people who are actually in tears. You know, they've got a renewal. They don't know what they're going to do.
This mortgage broker says lenders are now offering lower fixed-rate mortgages compared to variable rates, which can fluctuate. So he suggests going fixed for now.
We're at a high point now. Eventually it'll be lower. I can't predict when. I don't know when. But a 2 or 3 year fixed gives you the opportunity to look for better rates 2 or 3 years from now.
And if you just can't afford higher mortgage payments, one option is to extend the number of years you have to pay off your mortgage, which lowers your monthly bill. But experts warn you'll pay more in the long run.
It comes at a cost, and that could be, $100,000 or more of extra interest over the life of the mortgage, and maybe not paying off that mortgage until you're into your 70s or 80s.
Sid is extending the length of his mortgage to lower his payments, but he says it's just a short-term move to ride out higher rates. Sophia Harris, CBC News, Toronto.
Shopping for groceries has become a little bit more complicated with news aspartame may be carcinogenic, but should you avoid it?
We should know what we're sort of consuming in our daily diet.
A doctor cuts through the confusion. And drug users say injection sites are not enough to prevent deaths.
I think we need to have someplace safe for people to go and smoke.
So what's stopping cities?
Because the stigma have a lot of trouble getting these sites.
The National takes you deeper into the stories shaping our world. Next. The World Health Organization announcement that aspartame may cause cancer puts at least a caution sign on something that until now had a green light. Aspartame long presented as a healthy alternative to sugar. It is in a wide array of products, and avoiding it isn't easy. So where does that leave those of us concerned about healthy choices? Let's turn to Dr. Alan Grill, Chief of Family Medicine at Ontario's Markham Stouffville Hospital. Welcome to the program.
Thanks so much for having me.
I can sense a lot of frustration on the part of a lot of people. So on their behalf, doctor, let me ask for your advice. Should we be avoiding aspartame?
So I don't want the audience to panic. I don't think that they have to go and remove all aspartame-containing products from their kitchen today. You know, there was a recent report released that a committee of the World Health Organization might declare aspartame as having a possible association with cancer. And there was a study out of France, an observational study, that showed that people that consume aspartame have a higher risk of getting cancer than those that don't. The problem with these observational studies is that they're biased. So for example, you can't control the population in the study. And so there are other factors aside from aspartame that can influence the results, like age or whether someone is obese or not. And also the actual data that they measure isn't precise because it's based on personal reporting. So we're not even sure exactly how much aspartame people in the studies consume. You know, was it a lot or was it a little? So even though there was a signal in the study that shows an association between aspartame and cancer, we need a lot more data and research before any definitive conclusions can be made with regards to cause and effect. But it does make us all aware that we should know what we're sort of consuming in our daily diet to be healthy.
I mean, a lot of people will just see a headline or maybe a text on their phone, and even though it's possible carcinogen. They just see the word aspartame and the word carcinogen, and those are scary words to see side by side. So that's why we're having this longer conversation. What are the main takeaways?
So, for starters, I would say Health Canada has approved aspartame for daily consumption. And you have to consume a lot of it every day in order to reach the acceptable daily intake level, or at least go past it. Putting aside the cancer risk, what is aspartame? It's an artificial sweetener that we add to food and drink. And when we hear the term sweetener, it's not exactly the healthiest term. So it's a good reminder that we should all be focusing on a healthy diet. And we should be sort of maximizing, plant-based natural foods like fruits and vegetables and seeds. We should minimize the consumption of processed foods. And we should try and make the best effort to make things from scratch, especially those desserts that you like cakes and cookies, because not only does it avoid unnecessary additives and preservatives, but it gives your family sort of a social event where you can all get together and make things that you like that are healthier.
So much of this, though, comes down to choices and opportunity costs. So if a pop with aspartame replaces a pop with sugar and you're watching sugar, or if it replaces fruit juice, which, even though it's fruit, it's kind of loaded with sugar, it's just such a complicated formula or assessment for people to make. You must see patients who come in to you and kind of go I'm just pulling my hair out because there are just so many options here. And how do you calm them down?
No, absolutely. And, when I hear things like, people consuming large drinks, fruit juices or pop, it reminds me of the fact that, we have an obesity problem in this country. It's a major public health issue. Obesity is associated with things like heart disease, some cancers of its own, and depression. And I think what's important is that we want to maximize the diversity of our diet, and we want to make sure that we're making healthy alternative choices. So instead of going for that fruit juice or that pop, whether it has sugar or artificial sweetener, other choices might be tap water. And if you're looking for that sweet craving, you could put fruit in it. Some people actually take tap water and they carbonate it themselves because they like the sort of bubbly flavor of water. So I just think that, if we make those healthy choices and we use things in moderation, it's probably going to be better for everybody when we look at our population as a whole.
Yeah, I'm among many that has one of those carbonators. It has a brand name. It's changed my life because I'm not a big tap water guy, but now I am because there are a few bubbles on this. Let me finish with this. Again, I won't mention brand names, but there's a convenience store that sells a 30-ounce drink size and a version of it that's 40 ounces. I mean, and some people might make that part of their daily routine, especially in the summer. When you see people walking around with those, whether it's regular pop or diet pop in there, as a doctor, how do you react to that?
Yeah, so first thing, I think it's always a reasonable approach to use things in moderation. And, when we go back to the discussion we had about that World Health Organization committee, there's other food products that are on that list that might have a possible harm or association with cancer that might surprise people. For example, caffeic acid is a plant-based product in coffee, but I'm not going to sit here and tell your viewers to completely cut out coffee. So it's the same idea as these other beverages, right? You want to use them in moderation, but I think it's really important to always go for the healthy alternative first. So when you're in that grocery store, that convenience store, try to go to the section that has the fresh fruit and vegetables and fresh prepared foods first. If you have questions about a healthy diet or you have challenges with weight, please see your primary care provider, whether that's a family doctor or nurse practitioner. We can give advice. We can set you up with a dietitian. Because at the end of the day, we all want to learn how to be healthier and then apply that to our everyday lives. So use things in moderation, focus on the healthy diet, and I think that will help guide people when they're making food choices.
Really nice talking to you, Dr. Grill. Next time you're in Vancouver, we'll sit down and have some carbonated tap water.
It would be my pleasure.
Next, advocates are calling for more help to stop deadly overdoses.
So many people that are struggling and no one to help.
Why spaces to smoke could be the answer. Next. number of people who died of an opioid overdose has nearly doubled in the last 5 years, and most of those people have died from inhaling the drugs, leading some to call for more supervised smoking sites. But while they're easy to build, they're much harder to get approved. Jonathan Gatehouse shows us how they're saving lives and what's getting in the way.
Cobourg, Ontario, 2 hours outside Toronto, brims with small-town charm. But on Friday nights, just steps off the picture postcard main street, a crisis comes into view.
We have naloxone on the table. We have
Harm reduction worker Ashley Smoke is busy arranging supplies for a pop-up safe site.
There's alcohol swabs here.
An unsanctioned place for local drug users to inhale, with assistance at hand in case of an overdose.
It just seemed that there was more and more need and more people dying. There's just like so many people that are struggling and no one to help.
Originally there was a tent until the mayor sent bylaw officers to threaten fines. Now Smoke and other volunteers offer support in an alleyway. They're battling a changing epidemic. Most drug users now inhale rather than inject, in part because health officials say it reduces the risk from an increasingly toxic supply. Still, the deaths continue, with many dying away from help alone. Cobourg, home to 20,000, has seen a dozen fatal overdoses over the last year and a half. John, one of the Friday night smokers, says it's a challenge to simply stay alive.
I think we need to have some place safe for people to go and smoke, rather than being out here with kids on the street and the police and everything. It's too much. It's way too much.
Last year, there were more than 7,300 opioid overdose deaths across Canada, the majority involving smoking. But the trend isn't new. In British Columbia, inhalation overtook injections back in 2017, causing 56% of drug deaths in 2021. Ontario's numbers flipped 5 years ago, with smoking accounting for 68% of fatalities by late 2022. A message the province's chief coroner keeps trying to drive home.
Oh, this is a significant number of deaths. This is far in excess of motor vehicle collisions. These are young people. 75% are between 30 and 59. 75% are male, and this is something that's preventable.
The setup for an inhalation site is simple. It's basically a room with a large fan meant to whisk away whatever smoke is inside. Yet this privately funded one at Casey House, a specialized HIV hospital in Toronto, is the only legal indoor inhalation site in all of Ontario, and one of just 5 across the country. Easy to build, but surprisingly hard to get approved, says Casey House's chief executive officer.
The piece that seemed to be the barrier initially was around the Smoke-Free Ontario Act. And that took some time to understand from the government's perspective whether they were going to allow us to have people use illicit drugs in the space.
Canada has dozens of safe sites for injection, oral, and nasal use, and there's no question that they work. Since 2017, those in BC have recorded 25,000 overdoses, but just 1 death. So why is adding smoking proving so complicated?
In my opinion, it is red tape.
Vancouver's Patrick McDougall helps community organizations across the country set up consumption sites. He says neither Ottawa nor the provinces are showing enough urgency.
We need more resources to be able to address the crisis. The folks that we've lost are folks that I love and care about, and I wish we did have a response that was far more comprehensive, similar that we had to the pandemic, the COVID pandemic.
So oxygen's one of the most important things in an overdose.
There are solutions, like this hybrid indoor-outdoor smoking site on Vancouver's downtown east side, one of 16 now open across the province.
The operation doesn't need to be expensive. These are life-saving facilities. Saving lives is the most important thing. And I feel sad for communities that, because of stigma, have a lot of trouble getting these sites.
We asked the Alberta and Ontario governments about adding smoking to existing safe consumption sites. Dan Williams, Alberta's Minister of Mental Health and Addiction, said his focus is on treatment and holding criminals accountable. Sylvia Jones, Ontario's Minister of Health, didn't respond to repeated requests. all of which leaves Ashley Smoke feeling like people in power somehow still don't grasp what's happening in Canada's streets.
They really think that we're the problem. The community is unsafe and we're trying to help.
So, Jonathan, thousands of deaths across Canada every year. It seems many could be prevented by this approach. So what's standing in the way?
Red tape is a big roadblock, Ian. For example, here in Ontario, the funding agreements for existing safe sites specify that provincial money can only be used for injection, oral, and nasal services. So it's just a matter of adding one more word, inhalation. But there's also a community dimension. Harm reduction sites are sometimes controversial. We've just seen a fatal random shooting outside of one in Toronto, which came after months of residents complaining about the site causing rising crime in the neighborhood. And politics. Alberta's UCP government has been closing safe sites, instead emphasizing treatment and recovery, while the federal Conservatives have been trying to make measures like a safer drug supply a ballot box issue. So there's a number of hurdles.
Okay. Thanks, Jonathan. Next, what happens when an Irishman runs into a bear in the Canadian woods?
It was growling and snarling and twitching its ears. That was a sign that this was a proper attack.
How he survived with a whistle and some bear spray in our moment. Elina Svitolina's remarkable Wimbledon run is over. The tennis player, a symbol of hope and defiance for Ukraine, lost in the semifinals, but she gave her country a much-needed reason to cheer. And as Brian Stewart shows us, her fans back home could not be more proud.
Far from the prestige of Wimbledon, in Kyiv, they were cheering on one of their own.
It's really important because she represents our country. She shows on the international level her place.
Elina Svitolina just returned to pro tennis this spring after having a baby in October. At Wimbledon, she defeated a number of top players and won over fans.
The fact that she's a mother and that she's come back and that also she's just got such a great fight.
Svitolina is from Odessa and received an award from Ukraine's president this year for all of her fundraising. She's also donated some of her winnings. In the semi-final match, Svitolina got support from the crowd, but lost in 2 straight sets to Czech player Markita Vondrousova.
I just hope that, that Ukrainian people continue supporting me. It was really amazing. So, and just hope that I'm gonna get another chance.
Throughout her matches, Svitolina has made it clear she will not shake hands with Russian or Belarusian athletes. On Sunday, the crowd booed when there was no handshake after she played Belarusian athlete Victoria Azarenka. Russian and Belarusian players returned to Wimbledon this summer after being banned from the event last year. Local organizers were under a lot of pressure to include them because the players are some of the best in the world and they're competing in the other Grand Slams. Fans admit it's a tricky issue.
Perhaps you shouldn't merge politics with sport either, but yeah, it's hard.
This Canadian tennis writer says he too feels conflicted.
And I think maybe they shouldn't be here, but I think a number of people do feel that way as well, but people want to see the top players.
Wimbledon, like other sporting events, is still grappling with how to allow athletes to compete, even as organizers are criticized by some for not doing enough to condemn those countries waging war. Briar Stewart, CBC News, London.
And here's someone else impressive in their own way. Dermot Higgins traveled all the way from Dublin to experience Canada's great outdoors, but he didn't imagine he would take on a bear. The mama bear came right up to his tent, so Dermot made some quick decisions to scare it off, but he knocked himself out in the process. His survival tactics are our moment.
When I looked out the window, it wasn't people, it was a bear, a big black bear. I camped one evening at a place called Selwyn Station, and I fell asleep really, really quickly. And I didn't wake up until I know exactly what time it was. It was 6:30 a.m. I heard a loud thud and I felt something heavy on my shoulder. It was my worst nightmare, and the bear was right there in front of me. I play a thing called a tin whistle, okay, not very well, just kind of blew into it as unmelodiously as I can. It really seemed to piss off the bear. It was growling and snarling and twitching its ears, and I'd read that was a sign that this was a proper attack. I deployed the bear spray. I was deploying it through the mesh of the tent. The bear recoiled, and I got a whack of the bear spray in my face, a lot of it, and I fainted almost immediately. The good news is that when I woke up, the bear wasn't there. So I got out of there really quickly.
So he is good-natured about it. He survived, I think, unscathed, and so we can kind of look at it and have fun with the fact that he kind of fainted or, you know, kind of accidentally sprayed himself as well. But can you imagine how terrifying all that was? And they don't hand out medals for, you know, surviving those kinds of things in the great outdoors, but they ought to, and he should get one. That is the National for July the 13th. Renee Filipponi will be in this chair tomorrow night. I'll be back on Sunday. Have a good night.